Nina. Thanks so much for joining me, and welcome back to the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the fun techniques that you can create with the Nuvo Embellishment Mousse. The Embellishment Mousse is part of Tonic's Nuvo Embellishment line, and I love all the amazing metallic colors that you have in this Embellishment Mousse product. There are 12 colors of the Embellishment Mousse. I have a selection of them right here so you can see a variety of the different colors that are available in this product. These products have a simply beautiful metallic shimmer to them. And I love that there are so many bright colors too incorporated in this collection. Not only do you have the metallics, but those bright colors such as the teal and the pink and the purple and the blue, those are absolutely beautiful. And you can use these products in so many different ways. So let me show you a little bit of how these products come. The embellishment mousse comes with a seal that you'll want to remove before using, of course. And the product has a very nice creamy substance to it. You can see as I rub my finger across it how smooth this is. And this really does feel like butter basically. It's got that same consistency of butter. And it applies onto your paper really smoothly. This is a really fun product to be able to use, and I really love all the different techniques that you can do with this. Now I'm going to be sharing a couple of different techniques using these embellishment mousse products. Our first technique is to add embellished shine over top of colored inks. So for this particular project, I used some distress inks to ink blend this stencil design onto a piece of watercolor paper. I'm taking a soft cloth. This is just a scrap of a cotton cloth that I had on hand. And I'm going to take one of the embellishment mousse colors. This is a beautiful gold color. And I'm going to start rubbing this onto my rag. Rubbing off some of the excess onto a nonstick sheet. This is a bit of freezer paper. I'm going to begin burnishing on the embellishment mousse through my stencil. And this is going to create a metallic shine to the ink blending that we've already done through the stencil using distress ink. I first created this background by ink blending the sky with a bunch of different distress ink colors. I then applied the stencil and ink blended the sun and the grassy hills and also that water down below. But that allowed me to create a scene that I'll be able to then add this embellishment mousse over top of. I used the golden color for the sun and I brought that up towards the top of the sky to create the look of sun rays. And then I'm also going to add some of this beautiful blue teal color towards the top portion of the sky, blending that down in towards the sun rays that we have from our stencil. And this embellishment mousse is very easy to apply. You don't have to use a cloth if you don't want to. I'll be showing you another way that you can apply the embellishment mousse with your fingers. But either way, it's really easy to apply this embellishment mousse to your projects. I'm also going to take some of the green color and add this along the top portion of the grassy hills that I have here on my scene. And I'll just go ahead and blend this out. This embellishment mousse also blends together really nicely as well. You can see that transition that we have from the blue to the yellow on the sky was really seamless and creates an absolutely stunning effect. I'll be showing you a close-up look of the metallic shine later on in this video. Now another way that you can use the embellishment mousse is to add gold edging to your projects and also create embellishments on die cuts. So first I'm going to show you the edging detail. This is really fun because it adds this really nice golden gilded edge to your paper. I'm just taking my finger, rubbing it into the embellishment mousse, and then proceeding to rub my finger across the edge of the paper. I'm allowing my finger to go over the edge and kind of get creeping into the ink blended background that we have here. This background I created with a variety of ink smushing techniques, and I also added some flicks of gold watercolor as well. But now I'm adding in that embellishment mousse to give the edges of the paper a really beautiful golden shimmer. This really adds a lot of detail to this card panel and also draws out the gold color that we have in the background of this panel. This is also a great way to add a bit of a distressed look to your projects. You could use a variety of the other colors to create some fun effects as well. Now, of course, the consistency of embellishment mousse is very similar to embossing paste, so you can apply this through stencils very easily. It also looks amazing when you apply the embellishment paste on top of dark colored cardstocks. As you can see here, I'm applying some of the silver color onto some black cardstock to create a really beautiful heart stencil background. This stencil is actually something I created with dies. I die cut a bunch of heart dies from a piece of white cardstock, and then that created a really nice stencil for me to be able to use to create this fun background. You can see I've used this stencil before in the past. It's really fun to be able to create your own unique stencil designs using dies. So I'm going to continue applying the embellishment mousse over top of my stencil, and I'm just making sure I have this blended down onto the paper really well. Now you'll notice this is a very messy process, and I'm trying to get all of the excess embellishment mousse off of my fingers so that way I can apply it to the project and not have as much waste. I'll remove the stencil from my cardstock, and you can see the amazing results that we get with that stencil design. I ended up throwing out that stencil that I created, but if it had been a regular stencil, I would have just go ahead and run this through some hot water to clean it off. But again, the effect that you get from that beautiful silver color bouncing off of that dark colored cardstock is absolutely stunning. It's a really amazing result. A third technique I want to share with you is that you can also watercolor with these embellishment mousse products. Now I will mention that this particular project that I'm working on right now here with the watercoloring, this did not make it into the final ends of the video because I ended up getting a bunch of ink all over this background. So I ended up having to throw it out. But I still wanted to show you the footage of the video so that way you can go ahead and get an idea of what other kinds of things you can do with this embellishment mousse. So unfortunately I don't have any pictures to share with you of this particular background design that I created, but I have the video content here that you'll be able to watch, and I'll explain how I created this background. So I'm first applying water onto embellishment mousse that I have on the side of my freezer paper. I use freezer paper a lot because it's a non-stick surface and really easy to clean up. So that's what I've applied my embellishment mousse onto, and I'm just applying water into the embellishment mousse, getting it to be a little bit more liquefied. As I apply the water, I'm then going ahead and bringing it over to my project and creating areas of color. Now I'm being very messy with the application of this embellishment mousse. You can smooth this out to look much smoother, and it'll have a lot more of a refined look to the actual finished product. But this is a fun way to apply the embellishment mousse onto your projects because it creates a very interesting and layered look. So it looks like a hot mess right now, but it does end up looking really nice at the end of the video. So I'm going to continue adding the embellishment mousse onto my project. And basically you just use it like you would any type of watercoloring product. It's very easy to use and a lot of fun to really create some fun results with this embellishment mousse. It's got a really beautiful metallic sheen to it, so it's a great way to add metallic effects to your watercoloring. If you want to mix this with other types of watercolors as well, or distress inks, that would be a really fun way to be able to get some more use out of these embellishment mousses as well. Now here you can see I got a little bit of embellishment mousse back out for the dark blue color, and I'm blending the edges of the paper with that embellishment mousse just to add a little bit of a frosted look to the outside edges of this card panel, and I thought that really brought in your focus to the center area of this background. These snowflakes, by the way, are part of an Avery Elle Stamptember exclusive set that was designed for Simon Says Stamp's Stamptember event. This stamp set is still available over at the Simon Says Stamp shop, and I'll have it linked in the video description and also on the Simon Says Stamp blog, along with all the other main products that I used for today's projects. I also wanted to show you that you can still work this embellishment mousse a little bit with some water. I'm taking some water and blending and softening out the edges of that burnished color that we applied to the edges of this panel, and just blending it in towards the center area of this card design. Okay, the last technique I'm going to be sharing is how I created that die cut embellishment that I had done on the card with the gold edging. So I'm taking a piece of acetate just to use as a backing sheet for where I'm going to be applying the embellishment mousse. You can use freezer paper or other types of non-stick surfaces, but I didn't have any freezer paper cut down and I had the acetate sitting on my desk, so I just grabbed it and used it. So I'm going to temporarily adhere this little heart, which is die cut from a memory box die, and I'm going to lay that right on top of the acetate. I'm going to grab a little bit of the gold embellishment mousse that I used for our card panel, and I'm going to start applying this over top of our little heart. Now you can control how intense the gold is on these embellishments by applying just a little bit or a lot. I wanted this to be quite intense, so I'm applying a very thick layer of the embellishment mousse over top of this die cut heart, and I'll just go ahead and smooth this out to make sure that the finish is a nice smooth surface. I removed it from the area around where I had applied the embellishment mousse because I don't want the embellishment mousse on the die cut to adhere to the embellishment mousse that's on the acetate. we want to make sure that it is able to kind of basically breathe and it won't end up adhering to the excess embellishment mousse that we had around our die cut piece. So I just lifted it off and set it aside to another corner of the acetate to let dry. Now here's a close-up look of that beautiful background that we created with the silver embellishment mousse applied onto the dark cardstock. This is fully dried, and I just used a couple of new Simon stamps and dies to create this really fun encouragement card. And then also I'm going to show you a close-up look of the other card that we created with the beautiful and stencil sun rays. I love how the metallic just catches the light. You can see as I turn it a little bit how that metallic just really shines through this card design. These are really, really fun cards, and I think the embellishment mousse is a great way to add some really cool effects to your cards. That heart, after it dried, I ended up applying to the center area of my card, and I just used a piece of foam tape to go ahead and attach that down. So I hope this has given you a fun look at how you can use the Tonic Studios Nuvo Embellishment Mousse to create some really amazing embellishments and accents to your cards. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and head on over to the Simon Says Stamp blog where you can get more information on these products. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can connect with us on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, as well as our blog. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.